Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about how I made the short film Epoch by myself under lockdown. If you haven't seen Epoch yet, then there'll be a link at the end of this video. I'm very proud of it, so if you do like dystopian sci-fi, then please do check it out. As much as I've enjoyed making the films that I have made so far, I don't feel like any of them really demonstrate that I can make the kind of films that I love to watch. So at the start of 2020, I set myself a goal. I was going to make one short science fiction film. But rather than just rush something out and call it done, I wanted to make sure that I hit the highest level of quality that I could achieve. Then, in March, the coronavirus happened. To begin with, I think it's fair to say that most of us were just in a state of shock, and we're just trying to figure out what normal life would look like. It wasn't until early May that I realised that lockdown didn't need to stop me from achieving my goals, and I could still make a short film using what I had around me, which is a whole lot of farmland. So I started to spend evenings out and about in the fields, messing around with a camera, finding locations and acting out scenes. And in all of this, I was just trying to find an idea that inspired me. And sure enough, as I explored old railway tunnels and derelict bridges, I began to pull together the beginnings of a post-apocalyptic world. Round about this point, my creative writer side began to overtake my pragmatic filmmaker side, and the concept that I was exploring expanded rapidly in scale. This was now going to be a chase film, with our hero escaping an unseen antagonist. For the main character, I wanted to create a simple yet evocative outfit and spent some time exploring different influences. Then, using eBay and various online military surplus stores, I put the final costume together. At the same time, I wrote a treatment, which I then fleshed out into a full script. With the script in hand, I drew storyboards and blocked the film from beginning to end. With the locations on my doorstep, I took the camera out to get the shots so I could put them together in the edit and see how it all flowed together. And once I'd done that, I really began to see the limitations of shooting the film by myself. The sequences needed a lot more work to feel tight enough that the viewer wouldn't pick up on the lack of camera movement. And in fact, there were some shots that, when cut together, looked almost comedic. Now, this was a big concern and something that I needed to resolve. But it wasn't the only problem. Remember how I said that the scale of the story was escalating? Well, the hero was actually being chased by a giant alien spaceship. I was going to achieve most of this through reaction shots and sound design, but still needed to get that killer money shot. I found a 3D model online that fit the bill perfectly, but as I began to play around with it in After Effects, I realised that my skills were far below the level that they needed to be to make this work. As time went on, I became more and more concerned. The film was going to live or die based on my ability to suspend the audience's disbelief, and I didn't have the skills that I needed to do that. At this point, the project began to stall. One night, I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about the film, and it occurred to me that this whole project was supposed to be about what I can do, not about learning a whole new skill set. With that in mind, I got my notepad and I went back to the very core of the idea, that of a survivor in a world on the brink. I drafted out the basic points of a backstory and wrote the first pass of dialogue that would later become the voiceover. The next day, I dug out an old script that I'd developed for a little while before putting on the back burner. This script had the core central idea of being a vlog from the near future, and it meshed perfectly with the other ideas that I'd been developing. Combining the prep work of a chase film with the dystopian story of a vlog was really potent, and almost immediately the film had meaning to me. This was the beginning of what would become Epoch. That's all for this video. Come back next time when we look at the production and post-production process of making Epoch.